Senator from Tennessee.
Are we in a quorum call?
Yes, we are.
I ask that we dispense with the quorum call.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. This month is Military Appreciation Month. It's a month when we let our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine know just how grateful we are for their service. And Madam President, we are grateful for the service that you gave our nation in uniform. We thank you for that. Tennessee is home to 3 major military installations and numerous other Guard installations. So for us, Military Appreciation Month actually lasts all year long. I'd like to start off by welcoming the 101st Airborne Division's 2nd Squadron, 17th Cavalry Regiment back stateside following a 9-month rotational deployment to Korea. We are so happy to have them back home. In more exciting news out of Fort Campbell, this Thursday, Sergeant Major Veronica Knapp will become the first woman to serve as a Command Sergeant Major of a U.S. Army division. She'll assume responsibility as the Senior Enlisted Advisor of the 101st Airborne Division. On behalf of the entire Tennessee delegation, I offer my congratulations and wish her success in all that is yet to come. The service members stationed at Fort Campbell have really had a very busy past year. Starting last month, we began deploying soldiers to help with COVID-19 response operations across the Northeast, including members from the 501st Medical Company, the 531st Hospital Center, and the 101st Division Sustainment Brigade. Boston and New York City were among the most severely affected areas in the country, and if you ask the healthcare workers and city officials in those areas if Tennessee service members made a difference, they will tell you yes, without a doubt. Last year, many of our Tennessee National Guard members also joined the fight against COVID-19. The 164th Airlift Wing transported desperately needed PPE all the way from Italy to healthcare workers across this entire country. The 118th ISR Group, along with 5 other Air National Guard targeting units, produced over 70% of the U.S. Air Force's targeting materials, all while providing continuity to active duty units. I want to keep bragging on our Guard members because they really have made an impact, especially when it comes to getting testing and vaccination centers up and running. They set up more static vaccination sites than any other state. As of March of this year, they had set up double the number of sites that were running in the next most successful state. Job well done. They directly helped more than 1 million Tennesseans stay healthy through the pandemic. It was a great effort, and we thank them for that. I'm sorry to say that the pandemic wasn't the only natural disaster Tennesseans had to deal with over the past year. But when tornadoes destroyed multiple counties across West and Middle Tennessee, the National Guard was right there to help. And when blizzards shut down half the state, the Guard kept water flowing in Memphis, repaired communications infrastructure for first responders in Rutherford County, and found shelter for displaced families in Lynchburg and Manchester. When you're on the outside looking in on a natural disaster, the last thing you want to hear is that local officials had to call in the National Guard. But I'll tell you, when you're sitting in the aftermath, there's no more hopeful sight than a vehicle full of guardsmen pulling into town ready to help. That peace of mind, of course, comes at a cost. Our service members go where they're told to go and do the jobs they're told to do without hesitation. Why? Because they've accepted that the cause of freedom is more important than the freedom they sacrificed when they put on the uniform. Their families have accepted this too. And when you're a military family, the uniform comes first. This is why every year when we re-up defense funding, we put special focus on military families and their needs. For example, 2 years ago, we established a pilot program to offer professional license reciprocity for military spouses who want to continue working after moving across state lines. Last year, we increased funding for that program. We've also continued our support for the Preservation of the Force and Families program, which helps special operators process the after effects of their missions. Last month, Madam President, you and I introduced a bill called the Military Hunger Prevention Act. This is an incredibly important piece of legislation that would create a basic needs allowance for low-income military families. The reason this is so important is because existing benefits programs like SNAP and free school lunches include housing allowances and other military benefits in revenue calculations. Although it's obvious that this only creates the appearance of higher income, the programs aren't designed to allow an exception. Once we pass this bill, and I am sure that we will, these families will be able to use their allowance to buy groceries instead of relying on food pantries to put dinner on the table. This is what we should all be thinking about during Military Appreciation Month, renewing the commitment we've made to take care of our service members both on and off the battlefield. We need to ask ourselves, what are we doing to meet their practical needs? What are we doing to support their families? What are we doing to right unintended wrongs? It's the most important way we can recognize their extraordinary service to our nation. I yield the floor.